today on the CTV News at 5.
Today we have put together a cabinet that represents change and will help to bring about the change that Albertans recently voted for.
No cabinet postings for Lethbridge MLAs in Alison Redford's new cabinet. Plus, sod turning for the city's new cemetery. What makes this one different? And a memorial fund for 2 PBA players continues to grow.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Alberta Premier Alison Redford announced her cabinet today, but neither Lethbridge MLA was given a ministerial portfolio. Lethbridge West MLA Greg Weddick was sworn in as the Associate Minister of Municipal Affairs today. He had been the Minister of Advanced Education. In other appointments, Lethbridge East MLA Bridget Pasteur will be sitting on the Agenda and Priorities Committee, where they review all of the legislation that will go through the House. As for some of the higher profile portfolios, Fred Horn will remain Health Minister. Minister of Education is Jeff Johnson, while rookie MLA and former high-ranking Alberta Health Executive Ken Hughes has been named the province's new Energy Minister. Doug Horner becomes the top money man, adding finance to his Treasury Board portfolio. Solicitor General Jonathan Dennis will also assume the duties of the Justice Department in one combined ministry. Agriculture and Rural Development will now be headed by Berlin Olson. And the fact that neither Lethbridge MLA was given a cabinet post isn't going over well at City Hall. Mayor Rayco Dodick says Lethbridge has a long history of ministry representation, and he says Lethbridge is the only community south of Calgary to elect a PC MLA, and not having a cabinet representation here is like a slap in the face.
It is extremely disappointing. I said that earlier, surprising, and again, the Premier makes the decision. There have been times when Lethbridge has felt that we may have been ignored by Edmonton, and decisions that were made today in terms of appointment of ministers makes me wonder whether or not that is the case.
Some political watchers were also surprised Lethbridge MLAs were left out.
Well, it's one that's a little light on Southern Alberta representation. Not that that's a big surprise. There wasn't a lot to choose from. I'm a little surprised that there's no one from Lethbridge in this one.
The cabinet will have 19 members, including Redford, and that is 2 less than the pre-election group. Dory Rossiter, we only have 1 day of single-digit highs over the next 5 days. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to play down the fact that we're cooling down to single digits for 1 day by saying it's only 1 day. So, you know, the cup is half full, and we are going to see that shower activity happening on Thursday. It looks like it's going to be in the Lethbridge area, but the weekend looks like it's going to clear out, and we'll be back up to 24 degrees by Sunday. I'll have all the details coming up in a couple of minutes.
Sunny for the weekend. That sounds good, Dory. A 25-year-old man is facing charges in connection with 3 robberies at the Northside Gas King in Lethbridge. The robberies happened December 15th, 22nd, and January 1st at the Gas King on 5th Avenue and Stafford Drive. All 3 times, a man entered the store and demanded money from the till. 2 of the times, he pulled out a knife. He fled the store with cash and cigarettes. Derek Ross Blackmer of McGrath was arrested in Clare's home on May 7th. He's facing 3 counts of robbery and is scheduled to make his first court appearance on May the 14th. City officials broke ground on a new cemetery in North Lethbridge this morning. The move comes after years of concern by experts who said that the city was running out of plots in its existing sites. The Royal View Memorial Cemetery will be the city's 4th resting ground, but the first that the city has planned, built, and operated from its inception. Daryl Rummold reports.
In a place where loved ones will soon celebrate the lives of those lost, city officials are celebrating a milestone. With the turn of a golden shovel, ground is broken and a new cemetery is born.
This is a big and actually almost historic day for the city of Lethbridge, as we haven't done any of this in 100 years. So it's been an exciting project to be working on.
Early next week, crews will begin transforming this field of grass into the first phase of the Royal View Memorial Cemetery, named for the coal miners who once worked nearby.
We actually looked at quite a few different spots. This one was ideal because of the ground conditions. We looked at a lot of properties, but there's in certain areas of Lethbridge there's a higher water table, and high water table and cemeteries don't work together. So
the total cost of the project is roughly $3.8 million, most of which comes from provincial MSI funding and the city's capital improvement program. But according to city officials, it's money they had to spend. Across town, the flame that burns at the entrance of the Mountain View Cemetery may be eternal, but space here is quickly running out.
In about, I think, 3 to 5 years, we'll have no plots available in the other cemeteries.
Plots here will soon be essentially sold out, and the city's other graveyards face similar situations. City officials say St. Patrick's is already full, and most of the Archmount Cemetery on the west side is being reallocated for other uses. In Lethbridge, nearly 700 people die each year, but that number is expected to double over the next 20 years. Royal View Cemetery is expected to meet the demands of the next 60 to 70 years, with the first plots being available this time next year. Daryl Rummel, CTV News, Lethbridge.
City crews expect Royal View Memorial Cemetery to grow at a rate of 1 acre per year. Upon full development, the cemetery could provide burial plots for up to the next 100 years. And the public is invited to learn more about a financial report for a proposed leisure centre tonight. Consultants presented the feasibility study to the new facility to City Council members on Monday. The proposed $173 million centre will be built on the west side near the new high schools, and it will include an aquatic facility, twin ice rinks, an indoor playground and meeting space. The public will have a chance to see the proposed plans themselves at an open house tonight. It's being held at the Fritz Six Centre starting at 6:30. And the Lethbridge Public School Board is also presenting their draft budget tonight. Parents, students, staff, and members of the public are also invited to take in that presentation. The Board of Trustees will break down the budget and talk about their priorities for the upcoming school year. The meeting runs from 6:30 until 8 at the Education Center on 15th Street South. Lethbridge College is hosting their first accessibility fair for students with disabilities today. The fair is designed to show faculty and students the challenges of being disabled while going to school. Information booths highlight how to get better access on the campus and the teaching tools designed for people with disabilities. Over 200 students who attend the college have some form of physical or mental disability.
We wanted to simulate certain disabilities so that students, staff, and faculty will be able to know what it feels like to have a disability and how you're affected.
And we have a lot of technologies available for students to use to make their education accessible. And literally it can mean the difference between being able to read or not.
Organizers are hoping to host another accessibility fair at the college this fall. Students had a chance to install a stop sign this afternoon as part of Occupational Health and Safety Week. Local safety professionals are volunteering their time in an effort to promote health and safety standards to local high schoolers. The Making It Work program teams up professionals with students to share their expertise and grow the next generation of safety leaders. The students are taught to assess on-the-job hazards and to prepare a work site safety plan.
They are taught in high school to be safe, and what this will do, it'll promote them to the next stage where they get acknowledged for it, and it will help prepare individuals entering the workforce in that first year. And we believe that it'll help grow younger safety leaders.
And 3 of the students on hand took home today $200 Safe and Healthy scholarships. Well, the East Kootenays College of the Rockies is getting a big boost from the BC government. The college is getting over $600,000 as part of a one-time $10 million investment to help public post-secondary schools. And the funding will help the schools provide skills and training to better prepare workers for their jobs in the region. 16 different schools are going to be getting part of the funding. Exhibition Park officials are hoping to bring a little country to the city kids this week. Aggie Days got underway today inside the pavilion at Exhibition Park. It's an opportunity for Lethbridge residents, young and old, to get up close and personal with Southern Alberta's agriculture industry. Organizers hope through Aggie Days they can teach others about life on the farm and farm safety.
We love using the hazard board. We feel it has a strong impact with them. You know, it's really visual, it zaps, it makes noises, so, you know, they're really attracted to it. And if we can hit home messages, you know, from an early age like this, then it's going to save somebody's life down the road.
This gives the children of southern Alberta a chance to understand where the food comes from the ground to the table kind of thing, whether it's with cattle, ranching, farming, making hay, making ice cream, etc. So it's an educational component that we brought out of Ag Expo, so that's why we're doing it for the public.
Aggie Days also runs tomorrow at Exhibition Park from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. The main event, Equestrian Expo, is the largest of its kind in North America. Among the hundreds of exhibitors this year was the Alberta Farm Safety Centre. With more on what they do, here's this week's Farm TV.
The Alberta Farm Safety Centre teaches farm safety to rural students. We spoke with two of their instructors at the main event, Equestrian Expo.
What we're working on is creating a new equine safety program for grades 7 to 9 in the education system. Shirley Ennis and I are here together to talk to the people that are coming through at the main event about what they think the top 3 risks are while working with horses, so that we can compile that together and create an equine safety program. Lots of responses are helmet safety. A lot of kids, even adults, are not wearing the helmet. Boots, little kids riding horses that are too overpowered for them, like they're not ponies, they're like throwing them onto their parents' horses and going riding. Little people running up to horses and being kicked in those spots, the blind spots, which are directly behind the horse. Feeding horses at feeding time, horses are very aggressive, and we're hearing people getting kicked, being in a field with more than one horse.
In 2011, the Alberta Farm Safety Centre programs reached over 55,000 students across the province.
Kids are coming out to the booth and saying, "We know you, you've come to our school." And then the parents are like, "Thank you, you know, like, thank you for educating our kids." And it's really cool how much they remember. Like, they may not be my students, but one of the other instructors and students. And they're like, "Hey, this is dangerous because," and that's cool, like coming from a 5 or 6-year-old, like in kindergarten, like that's huge, I think, that they remember that.
For more information, contact the Alberta Farm Safety Centre.
Farm TV is brought to you by DA Building Systems.
And that was Farm TV's Mike LeBlanc. In the markets today, overall a tough day as there renewed concerns over Europe's debt crisis.